Welcome to Pixarize's scene for vitamin B1 or thiamine, part of our series on vitamins. I have to warn you, stepping into this scene is going to be kind of dangerous. There's a fearsome hydra decimating a Native American settlement, and the only thing that stands in its way is a ragtag group of heroes. What's that? You'd happily risk life and limb if it means boosting your Step 1 score? Fair enough. Let's enter the fray. Alrighty, before we get to the Hydra, let's introduce our main character in the foreground, a hero who's stepping in at the 9th hour to slay the beast, save the village, and anchor our scene to vitamin B1 or thiamine. We can't actually see our protagonist's face here, which is a real shame because I've seen her face and holy wow is she a looker. In fact, all we can really see is her toned thigh and the gun she's reaching for on her thigh holster. This mighty thigh occupying a healthy portion of our image is there to make us think of thiamine. Got it? Thiamine. Now let's investigate her potent pistol. If we examine it, we can see that it's no ordinary gun. It's a special bee-themed gun, and it really packs a punch, or a sting, I guess. At Pixarize, we use guns to help us remember the number 1, and since this scene is about vitamin B1, we've got our hero strapped with a bee gun on her thiamine. Alright, now let's check out the village below so we know what's at stake here. The village under attack by our Hydra is a centuries-old Native American settlement, and their very way of life is being threatened. The village is particularly fragile because it's composed entirely of teepees. Not wigwams, that's a common misconception. These are teepees, and in addition to being super fragile, they represent the cofactor TPP, or thiamine pyrophosphate. The TPP cofactor is a vitamin B-gun-1 derivative, and it's massively important for a number of key physiological reactions, so we really need to keep these TPP teepees safe. Now, for what type of reactions is TPP so crucial? I'm glad you asked. Remember the giant hydra on the left side of the image? No? Seriously? Shame on you, that thing is huge and very memorable. But yeah, this hydra needs to go down, and if you're a Greek mythology buff or you've seen a children's movie about Hercules, you'd know that the hydra's whole shtick is that it has multiple heads and they all need to be cut off before it dies. Beheading the hydra, or deheading the hydra, if you will, helps us remember that TPP is a required cofactor in many dehydrogenase reactions, or dehydrogenase reactions. So what do we need to dehydrogenate this village? We need vitamin B1. And would you look at that, the vitamin B gun is here to help dehydrogenate the crud out of this place. Now, to the left of our vitamin B gun, we find our first hero grappling with the hydra. Eye patch, peg leg, hook hand. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's a pirate. And this pirate represents the first dehydrogenase enzyme for which TPP functions as a cofactor. Pyruvate dehydrogenase, or pirate dehydrogenase, plays an important physiological role as the link between glycolysis and the TCA cycle. If we recall our biochem, we know that pyruvate dehydrogenase does this by converting pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. But for now, let's just focus on pirate dehydrogenase as one of the enzymes that requires TPP and thus thiamine as a cofactor. Next, let's pan over to the left and check out that key-wielding hero who you may or may not know actually fought the Hydra with Hercules in a popular video game series. That's not really relevant here, but I thought it was a nice touch. Anyway, what's important for us to remember is his weapon, that big ol' key. Pay attention to the hilt. Looks like the Greek letter alpha, doesn't it? And don't try to hide it, I know you've also been checking out his huge glutes. It's okay, he doesn't mind. Together, we can use this guy's alpha key and his well-defined glutes to recall alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, another enzyme requiring vitamin B gun and TPP. Alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase catalyzes the TCA cycle reaction between alpha-ketoglutarate and coenzyme A to form succinyl-CoA, another vital dehydrogenase reaction that needs TPP's help to proceed. Let's pan left again and take a look at the wound our heroes have managed to inflict on the beast. Like I said before, it's all about deheading that thing, so this flesh wound is probably insignificant, but hey, little victories, you know? Anyway, look what they've stabbed this thing with. It's a tree branch attached to a chain, attached to a key. What kind of prison shanky model together garbage weapon is that? Well, it turns out it's a model together garbage weapon that perfectly represents branched chain keto acid dehydrogenase, the third dehydrogenase reaction that requires TPP as a cofactor. Wow, what a coincidence. Branched, like the tree branch, chain, like the chain, and keto, like the key. Branched chain keto acid dehydrogenase. Got that? Great. Let's knock out our last enzyme. By now you're almost certainly wondering how these TP villagers get all these monster mashing keys. They import them, obviously. Do you see that train next to the village? Look at its overflowing cargo. Definitely no shortage of keys for hydra fighting. This key-carrying train is there to signify trans-ketolase, or trans-ketolase. Trans-ketolase is a key player, see what I did there? In the pentose phosphate pathway, or the HMP shunt. And again, it's another important reaction that requires TPP as a cofactor. However, trans-ketolase is unique among the TPP-dependent enzymes because it's not a dehydrogenase complex. The other unique thing that you should remember about trans-ketolase is that it plays a major role in the diagnosis of a vitamin B1 deficiency, since administering vitamin B1 to a B1 deficient patient will result in a measurable increase in the activity of trans-ketolase in the RBCs. Pretty cool, huh? And we're done. We faced the Hydra and returned unscathed. Well, maybe we didn't really face it, but we did learn all about the various roles of thiamine, or vitamin B1, and all the dehydrogenase reactions that require its TPP form to proceed. Make sure you take a minute to nail down all of these symbols before we move on to our next scene for vitamin B1 deficiency syndromes. Remember, you can go the distance. Until next time.